Hi there, Kendra Tolbert here. I'm a registered dietitian and yoga teacher, and I specialize in women's health, fertility, and PCOS. And today I have another interview for you. Today I interviewed Coral Dabarera Edelson, and she specializes in nutrition for painful periods. She has so much good information over on her Instagram, so I was super excited to speak with her one-on-one and get her to answer some of your questions. So without further ado, let's get right into our interview. Thank you so much for being with me today, Coral. I'm honestly just so honored to have you.
I'm glad to be here too. Super excited to talk about this.
So, I've been following you for a little while now, and I'm getting to know you, and everything that you've posted, I adore, which is why I wanted you to be on here today. So, I'm wondering if you could introduce yourself and share a bit about what you do.
Sure. I'm Coral Dabarera Edelson. I'm a registered dietitian and I focus on women's health and fertility and especially painful periods. That's kind of where I'm working right now.
That's such a specific specialty. I feel like a lot of people do fertility and women's health. They kind of just talk about menstrual cycle health in general, but painful periods, it's super, super specific. How did you end up in this realm?
Yeah, I mean, I've experienced painful periods myself, and that's kind of why I want to talk about it because we don't talk about it enough. It's kind of swept under the rug a little bit sometimes. Women are just meant to just deal with it, I guess. So which kind of makes me mad. So that's why I like to talk about it because nutrition can really help. So yeah.
Absolutely. And it really can make a difference. Because it's so common, I think oftentimes people think like it's no big deal or it's normal or we don't need to address what might be going on beneath the surface. So, what are some common things that PMS symptoms or painful periods could be pointing to?
Absolutely. So there's a couple of conditions that you want to make sure you're aware of. So that those would be fibroids, endometriosis, a couple of other conditions that if you have really, really painful periods, you want to make sure you talk about that with your doctor. But there's some other underlying causes as well, like nutrient deficiency, chronic inflammation, hormone imbalance. All of these things can lead to worse cramps and PMS.
And so it seems that the period pain is really pointing you to the fact that there's something else that needs to be addressed. Why is it so important to address those things?
Yeah, that's a great question because I feel like when we talk about menstrual health, often the conversation goes to fertility. It's like you need your cycles to be perfect or whatever so that you are helping your fertility, and that's true. But the reason why we need to address these things is because we're losing days of our life here, just laid out, and we deserve to have that day back, not be in horrible pain, and all of the symptoms that you can get from painful periods. That's why I think it's worth addressing, just so we can feel better in our bodies.
Oh,
So,
I love that answer. I really love that answer because I think that's reason enough. Is like you deserve to feel good. You deserve to feel well as many days as possible. And if your period is standing in the way of that, then that's something that matters. That's something that needs to be addressed and taken seriously. Awesome. I love that. I'm looking over at my question. So, anyone who's watching this, if you see me look away, that's where my eyes are being averted to. What would be the first thing that you would recommend for someone who is experiencing painful periods? What should they do?
so the first thing I like to address is poop, which might be surprising, but here we go. So basically, as you probably well know, if you're not moving your bowels every day, that's increasing the chance of you to have hormone imbalance. It's increasing your chances of not being able to remove excess estrogen from your body. And if you're not removing it, then it's recirculating and causing worse cramps. So, step one, poop every day. If that's not happening, eat some more fiber, some more veggies, water, movement. Some of those basics can really help you get moving. And if you are having a bowel movement every day, keep up the fiber, keep up eating your fruits and veggies. Eating an anti-inflammatory diet can help bring some of that inflammation down that's affecting cramps.
Mm. I always love to hear when people get back to the basics because I feel like so often people want to hear like the sexy answer. They want to hear which supplements they need to start taking right away. They want to hear like which exercise routine they need. And you're just like, take a poop. Like, please make sure that that is happening. It's so important and so important to the rest of our health.
Yeah.
So I love that you brought it back to the basics. Thank you for that. When you're working with someone, besides making sure that they have regular bowel movements, what are some of your go-to self-care practices that you recommend that they start to put in place to support menstrual cycle health?
Absolutely. So some like basic self-care stuff will be like, thoughtful movement that you enjoy, but eating well, these kinds of things. But something I really love to talk about with painful periods is it's something that's not talked about a lot, which is kind of that anxiety that you have before the period comes, because I know women and I've had periods. I'm sure all of us have a story where you had a traumatic period and it like ruined your vacation or your first day of work. I had that experience one time, like, and if you have that every month, you have a lot of anxiety. And so working on that is going to help you make your periods a little less painful. So I call that period mindset, which is kind of taking the time to create a period ritual, something fun, just pure fun, not organizing your closet or anything like that. Just like something fun that you can look forward to on your period. So you do have that fear of that pain coming, but you're also like, and I get to binge watch my favorite show. So, kind of balancing out those emotions because it can actually make a difference.
I can definitely see how that would make a difference. That anticipation of the pain and that lead up sounds like at times it can be almost worse than sometimes what people end up experiencing. So the idea of making this something that you're looking forward to, maybe even just a little bit, is
Mhm.
definitely going to change your mindset around your period. Lovely. Now, a lot of people also experience pain during ovulation. So it's not always just pain at the beginning of the cycle. What
Mhm.
sort of tips do you have for someone who is experiencing that mid-cycle or ovulatory pain?
Some similar tips as with your painful period, which is make sure your bowels are moving, working on that anticipatory anxiety, fear. But with ovulation pain, which a little bit of pain is normal, but a lot is like, okay, we need to look at that. So thinking about increasing your healthy fats like omega-3, and looking at your magnesium levels, increasing that can be helpful.
Okay, lovely. Now, I think we all hopefully know at this point that there's no one magic food that's going to fix everything, that it really is about your overall lifestyle, your overall eating pattern. But is there one food or food group that you would recommend that we all eat a bit more of in order to support our menstrual cycle health?
That's a tough one. As a dietitian, I'm just like, yeah, do this and do this. But if I had to boil it down to two, I would say leafy greens, veggies, generally. Increasing that's going to increase your fiber, increase your antioxidants. Antioxidants help with inflammation that makes cramps worse. So eating more of those things is going to help. And then the second thing would be fibrous foods like whole grains, beans, lentils. These types of things can help you poop, as we discussed, very important. And, whole grains have B vitamins that are helpful for painful periods as well. So definitely up those things if you're working on your period cramps.
Any tips for people who are a little bit vegetable averse? Some people find that they don't love them. What
Mhm.
tips would you have for those people in order to get more of those into their eating pattern?
Sure. Well, I would find a way to make it delicious. You don't have to eat like a, salad with lemon juice, For them, I don't eat that. I'm sure you don't eat that either. You gotta like put some spice in there, you know? So I would just say find a way to make it fun. A couple of ways to do that. Look to your cultural foods. If you don't have a lot of experience with your cultural foods, or even if you do, like adventuring into there, making some dishes that include some colorful veggies. That's a fun way to do it. Make sure you season your food well. You can add salt to food. That's totally cool. Have some healthy fats with your veggies when you cook them, lots of herbs and spices. You know, I don't know, if you like your food well seasoned and you're following a recipe, just go ahead and double all the seasonings. That's fine. I do that too, and it makes a difference. So, just finding ways to be creative. And when it comes down to it, and you're like, I don't want to eat that bell pepper, there's always there's space for a moment to be like, yes, I will eat this bell pepper now. No, it is not as good as, something else more delicious, but I appreciate how I'm going to feel after. Sometimes thinking about that can be helpful too. Yeah.
I so appreciate that answer. It was definitely a different answer than what I've sometimes have heard some healthcare providers, where they've even suggested that if you make the food good, you're canceling out good as in make it tasty. You're
Mhm.
canceling out the benefits. Like if you add salad dressing to your salad, you're canceling it out. You can't cancel out
Yeah.
what's already there to benefit your body. So thank you for giving everyone permission to enjoy their foods. Sauces, fats, herbs, spices, like those were meant to be a part of our meals as well. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes, you're welcome. Super important.
So appreciate that. So we're coming to an end of our questions, but I would like it if you would share one thing that you would hope that everyone who watched this would walk away knowing.
Yeah, I'd love everyone to know that if you have painful periods, it's not because you're unlucky. It's not because everyone has this and you just have to deal with it. Those are not the truth. The truth is there's something there that can be addressed with your doctor, with your dietitian, and you don't have to just put up with it just because. That's what I want everyone to know.
Absolutely. And so I'm certain that after watching this, people are going to want to know more about you. They're going to want to learn more from you. Where can they find you on the internet so that they can do that?
Sure. So I mostly live over on Instagram. My account is browngirl.nutrition. And right now I'm offering a really fun mini package called Your Period Plan. And it's 2 sessions with me and a workbook all about healing your periods naturally through diet, lifestyle, smart supplementation, and working on your period mindset. And so it's just a little nugget of goodness to help you get on the right track with your painful period cramps. So if you're interested, check me out on Instagram to learn more.
Fantastic. So I will make sure to link to everything that you have going on in the description box below. So if you want to learn more about Coral, if you want to work with Coral, make sure to head to the description box below and click on those links. Thank you again. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. This was really fun.